So today I would like to start Be'ezrat Hashem a new series of things of a work or writing that I think is a fundamental sefer in Emunah and sefer Musar that I think unfortunately is not being learned. I wouldn't say even enough, sometimes not even at all. And I think we only miss when we don't do that. That sefer is called Kohelet. Kohelet in English is called?
Scholastic.
Huh? Scholastic? Scholastic? No, that's for phonics. No? How is it called, Sam? Yeah, you know it. Ecclesiastics.
Ecclesiastics.
Yeah. You need to go to him. He's going to be a speech therapist. Kohelet is a wonderful sefer, tremendously controversial in a certain part of our history. Usually, it's not a halacha. It's a minhag that in certain kehilot, certain communities, they read Kohelet on Sukkot. One of the reasons for reading Kohelet on Sukkot is most likely because we just finished Yom Kippurim and we did the Cheshbon Nefesh. We did our inventory of what we should not, and could have, and so on and so forth. And now comes Kohelet and really puts it in a very nice way. Mysteries about the name Kohelet, even though Kohelet usually referred to by ancient tradition to Shlomo HaMelech, yet his name as Shlomo is not mentioned. However, it says, Divrei Kohelet ben David Melech b'Yerushalayim, Kohelet the son of David, king of Jerusalem. That fits only one person, that will be Shlomo HaMelech. One of the reasons they say he used the name Kohelet is because he wrote it when he was older, and that was after he made tshuva. And one of the things, Shemo'il l'tshuva shlema, is Shinui Hashem. So that's one of the things that they call it Kohelet. But let's drive to it. I would like to use as much as we can the Rashi perush of that. I will highly recommend to everybody to read that and to learn it. And if you can, take the Me'am Loez in English. Also, it's a very fine work that was done there. So I would recommend to you. Okay, so let's go about it. We're not going to do the whole thing in one shot, of course. So Divrei Kohelet ben David Melech b'Yerushalayim. These are the words of Kohelet, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Rashi tells us, Kol makom shene'emar divrei, the words of, Eino ela divrei tochecha. That comes to rebuke us, to give us, straighten us up a little bit. Ela Ele advarim asher diber Moshe, and Rashi gives different examples, divrei Yirmiyahu, and so on and so forth. So Kohelet starts and he says, and that's one of the reasons that is very controversial, because if you read it like this, it's kind of depressing, but he's wonderful. He really aligns you. He says, Hevel avalim amar Kohelet, Hevel avalim hakol hevel. All nonsense. It's all meaningless. Hevel, what's Hevel? Hevel piv is the steam that comes out of your mouth when it's cold. There's like no substance to it. Meaningless. Kohelet tells you, listen buddy, it's all nonsense. I cannot tell you how right he is. It's all nonsense. So you will say, well, what do you mean nonsense? So he will explain to us what exactly nonsense means. But he says, Hevel havalim, the vapor of vapor. It's all vapor. And he says, Ma yitaron la'adam b'kol amalo sheya'amol tachat ha'shemesh. What's the purpose? What's the as Rashi wrote, sachar. What's the reward? What's the point? Of all the work that you do under the sun. Well, you could take it literally and really say, you know what? Hold on a second. He's really right. What's the point? You go all your life, you fight, you scheme, you plot, you work, you get angry, you get tired, you get old. For what? What's the point of that? For those lousy 2 weeks vacations that I get, once a year. Why did I come to this world? It's nonsense. Shtuyat. You think about it. How much money have you spent going to school? Don't tell me, I know. You, Bichlal, I don't want doctor, I get ready to rob a bank. Think about my daughter, she wants to become a doctor. I'm getting eczema behind my ear just to think about that. How much money have you spent to go to become a doctor? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. You start your life with debt. How much aggravation? How many sleepless nights? And not because of alcohol parties, of learning, chemistry, whatever nonsense you learn over there in medical school. If you would have taken $500,000, woo, what could you have? Man, you could have traveled the rest of your life. You could have traveled the rest of your life. What's the point? Malpractice insurance. Meaningless. However, Rashi comes and tells us, Tachat HaShemesh, it says a little bit different. Tachat HaShemesh, Tmurat HaTorah shehi kruya or. In regards to the Torah is considered to be or, light, sheneemar, v'Torah or. כל העמל שהוא מחליף בו את עסק התורה, מה שכר בו? Oh, Rashi gives us here a combination here. He says, if you compare learning Torah to everything else, you like that one, huh? If you compare Torah to everything else, the value of it, כל עמל שהוא מחליף בו את עסק התורה, anything that you would substitute, I'll go do work instead of learning Torah, מה שכר בו? What's the reward? You're learning Torah. You're getting olam haba. You're getting closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You live for the reason in which you came to this world for. You're going to substitute it to be what? Why? I didn't hear you. מה שכר? What are you going to do with this? One time, there was a very special martial art exhibition. And you know me, one of the things that I like. So my friend came over, he says, how about we'll go there? And I said, no, I really don't want to go. I have a zman kavua. I want to go. I want to go to learn. So he tried to convince me, and then he goes on and on and on. It's like giving me grief already. Falling under the pressure. I really want to go. I mean, there was something out of the ordinary. But then my dear wife came, and she says, listen, and he's a good friend of us, so he says, listen. So let's say, for example, you went there and you saw it and they give you a black belt or whatever it is. What exactly are you going to do with this in Olam Haba? How is this going to help you get to Olam Haba? And that was the end of it. You're sitting down substituting Torah learning for what? And you're calling yourself a smart person? You're a fool. Let's talk money-wise. I'm going to tell you Forget about learning Torah. I'm going to tell you, listen, sit here. You need to learn this for the next 10 years, arguments, whatever job it is. After 10 years, right now you're going to make nothing. You're really going to make nothing now. Just like ends meet, you're going to make. However, in 10 years, you're going to be making, I don't know, $500,000 a year. Are you going to do it? Or are you going to say, oh, I'm not waiting 10 years to make that. Going out and get a job, I'll make $35,000 a year. They said, what are you, crazy? You know what's the price of Torah? With all the money in the world, you cannot enter Olam Haba if you didn't get the ticket. What's sachar? Again, that's what you came here for. To get up in the morning, to go on the bus, to go to work, to go on the bus, to come home, take a shower, eat, get up in the morning, go on the bus. That's what you came here for. And it says, Dor olech v'dor ba, v'haaretz la'olam omedet. Oh, how wonderful this is. One generation comes, one generation goes, and everything stays the same. I was thinking about it years ago. You know, you go upstate New York, you see some majestic trees, some oaks or maples that are, or you know, I wouldn't say walnuts because they usually die very, very young. About 70 years, they have some kind of disease that brought. But you see oaks that are enormous. Enormous. Two people cannot hug a tree like that. They end up hugging each other. But, you know, it's an enormous tree. You know, this tree has been, I don't know, at least 100 years, if not more. And you look up and it's pretty healthy. It's a big tree. It's not going anywhere. And you think about yourself. You said, I came here, I left this world. This tree is still going to be here. Dor olech v'dor ba v'haaretz la'olam omedet. You think that you're going to leave some kind of a legacy here, some kind of a thing here. Shtuyot is nonsense. You are like a passing shadow here. Don't think you're going to immortalize yourself by, it's the generation, it comes and goes. By the way, when's the last time you're thinking about Eisenhower? Right? 60, 70 years ago, Eisenhower was the chief rock and roll master of the world. Eisenhower. When was the last time you thought about George Washington? When was the last time you thought about George Bush or, what's his name, the other guy, Gorbachev? And Rashi says on that, Kol ma she'arasha yagea ve'amel, anything that the wicked person is working very hard for, la'ashok, to oppress, ve'ligzol, and to steal, eino mechalet ma'asav, you're never going to finish that. You're putting so much effort on nonsense. Why? Ki hador olech v'dor acher ba v'notel hakol miyad banav. Now you are very busy building an empire for yourself. On the way to making an empire, you are stepping on people. You are oppressing people. And guess what? Your generation will go, and you left everything to your kids, and the other generation comes and takes everything away from your kids. You know the famous example, how many third and fourth generation businesses are in America? Very few. Regardless of the size of empires you built yourself. If you will look at the 20s, on 1920s, about, Jewish, department stores that they used to have. All of a sudden came Amazon and took it all away from you. Whether it's the Macy's and the Bloomingdale's and others that I don't even know that, and so on and so forth. And it says, Kinyan shene'emar, banav yiratzu dalim. Your generation is the one who is oppressing. However, don't think that he's going to stay over for your kids, because your kids are going to serve those who are poor. In other words, it all turns around. On that happy note, we're going to finish for today.